Hell is This is made by developer Rogue Factor. The last game they developed was a tactical RPG called Necromunda Underhive Wars, and before that, another tactical RPG called Mordheim, City of the Damned. Seeing the scope of Hell is Us, it's pretty clear that they're trying to make their most ambitious project yet, and I was pretty interested to see how they would tackle this new direction. Unlike their previous strategy-heavy projects, this game promises a semi-open world full of strange alien-like creatures called Holowalkers, minimal hand-holding, and a strong focus on atmosphere. The game has no maps, no markers, it's just you and your instincts and the unknown. That premise instantly hooked me, so when the demo dropped, I dove in to see how Rogue Factor's most ambitious project yet was shaping up. And just a quick disclaimer before we go any further, this is based on a demo build, so some of the issues I might bring up, it's possible that by the time the game comes out, they wouldn't exist anymore. Alright, so before we go in, I want to give you a general story overview of the game. Our main protagonist, Remy, is captured after sneaking into a place called Hadia, in search of his parents. The country has been affected by an event called the Calamity, which gave birth to the Holowalkers. And that's pretty much what the demo gives you to work with. The demo begins in a forest, backed by an eerie soundtrack, one of the very first things that really stood out to me. You start with no weapons, no gear, just a straight path to an NPC who sets you on your journey. Shortly after, you encounter a wounded soldier who's laying down by a locked door. He then sends you on a quest to help him find a medpack, after which he gives you the key to solve a puzzle with which Remy uses to open the door. Now, unfortunately, this was the point where the cracks began to show for me. Movement felt really floaty and unresponsive, and once I engaged enemies, combat did not improve very much. On paper, you've got all the basics. You have a dodge roll, a parry, light and heavy attacks. But in practice, everything felt weightless. Attacks lacked impact, even though the sound design and the effect design of the attacks sounded and looked really good. Before I continue, I'd like to preface this by just giving you a little bit about my gaming background. I love games with excellent combat, games like DMC4, Bayonetta, Bloodborne, Nier Automata, and Sekiro, and many more. So in the future, when I do review other games that do have a combat element, I will most likely pay a bit of extra attention to it because it's one of the most important things to me when I play a video game. And I understand that Hell is Us is not trying to have the most technical combat engine or anything like that, but what it's currently presenting, in my opinion, already feels very lacking. And I understand some people are going to say this is a demo, that most of the toys and the tools that you get that make the game really fun are further into the game, in the full game. But if you paid attention to any of the games I previously mentioned, those games on frame 1, like literally 5 minutes after picking up the game, the combat core is so complete and intact, and it's tight. And with simply only what I played in the demo, Hell is This just doesn't have any of that for me right now. It feels uninspired and it feels very, very safe. Now, it's possible that when the game comes out, they're going to give you more toys to play with, but that's kind of the point I'm trying to make. The main combat loop should be tight on frame 1, in my opinion. But I will say the enemy designs were a very good highlight for me. The few types I ran into were beautifully creepy, well animated, and they fit the unsettling vibe. The problem, their attack animations were sometimes pretty hard to read, which made parrying frustrating rather than skillful. One interesting mechanic that Hell is Us has is this mechanic called Healing Pulse, which reminded me of Neo's Key Pulse system. But unlike Neo, it restores health and stamina, not just stamina, forcing you to make smart choices between aggression and pulling back to recover. They also give you a drone that you can use, but in the demo you can only use it just to distract enemies. Also, the heavy attack stood out to me, though not for the right reasons. It's tied to a resource bar that fills up as you fight, but the wind-up time is so long, and by the time you unleash it, the payoff rarely felt worth the wait. Hell is Us builds itself as a semi-open world, and while the demo didn't quite give me a huge taste of exploration, it had some puzzles punctuated across the game's world. Sadly, they were pretty basic, If you pay enough attention to your surroundings, you solve them pretty quickly, and there wasn't much creativity there. Hopefully, the full game spices things up a little bit. I want to quickly highlight the soundtrack because I really like it. I think it's very well done and fits the atmosphere, especially in the dungeon part of the demo. Take a quick listen. I want to quickly highlight that I think the voice work, at least for Remy, is very well done. Take another listen.
Epsilon 11. Epsilon 11, sound off. Why are you in Akasa Marshes? Who ordered you? Where are my men?
They're gone. The creatures got the better of them.
Abandon the vehicle and walk away. You have my word, no harm will come to you.
How about I give it back when I no longer need it?
That was the voice of Elias Tufexis, who voiced Adam Jensen from the Deus Ex series. I think it's really cool that Rogue Factor were able to get him to voice Remy. As for performance, on the technical side, the game ran flawlessly for me. I was playing on an AMD 9800X3D with an RTX 5080 at 4K Ultra, and I was able to easily hit 60 FPS and above without any stutters, bugs, or crashes. If the demo's this stable, I imagine the final release will be even better. In conclusion, what do I think? I'll be pretty blunt. I didn't have the best time with this demo. When I watched the trailers, it looked very visually striking. The snippets of combat looked very good, but playing it was a completely different story for me. The atmosphere, the soundtrack, and the enemy designs really grabbed me, and I love those things, but the core combat, the thing you spend most of your time doing, felt really flat. With Hell Is Us coming out pretty soon, I'm pretty hopeful that they can refine things, but based on the demo, it is just not for me. That being said, if you enjoyed the demo, that's awesome, and chances are the full release is going to be great for you. But for me, Hell Is Us is shaping up to be more intriguing in concept than in execution. But I'd really like to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Did you play the demo? If you did, then what did you think? Was I wrong about certain things? Just let me know down in the comments. And also don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. Until next time, it's been Casual.